Hello, it's Ricardo and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. An awful lot of discussion is going on around about the new PowerPlay. In Frontier Unlocked on the 27th of March 2024, Frontier on their live stream with Arthur and Luke basically gave us a glimpse behind the curtain of what was going to come towards the summertime with Update 19 and PowerPlay version 2. PowerPlay Advanced, PowerPlay Plus, whatever they're going to call it. We'll just call it PowerPlay version 2. A couple of questions have been popping up, and I thought we'd go through some of those. So for those of you who watched Frontier Unlocked on the 27th of March 2024, and there was about 11 to 12,000 of you all hanging around for the last segment on that show to see what Frontier had to say for itself about PowerPlay version 2. It was a bit of an exciting announcement when it was first announced at the beginning of the year, along with the fact that we were going to get regular updates on a monthly basis from the Frontier development team. Now, this new version of PowerPlay version 2 did promise to enhance the gameplay experience with new features and visual improvements, and we had a little bit of a look at those on the stream. PowerPlay version 2 was, like I say, first showcased live on the 27th, indicating a significant update to the game's factional territory system, its politics system, its behind background simulation. Now, PowerPlay is a strategic system where players can pledge allegiance to various powers, carry out tasks to expand their influence across the galaxy, and have rewards for that, whether they be for credits or whether they be for lovely engineered or specialized objects. Imperial hammers, prismatic shields, pack hounds, torpedoes. There's a wide plethora of things you can have. Now, for those of us who've been playing the game for quite some time, here comes the first thing. Right, well, I've unlocked all of that. Why should I care about PowerPlay version 2? I've got my unlocked components, weapons, modules, whatever. I went through the rigmarole, which is really laborious, of getting 750 credits and taking them to the place, and because I could only get 10 credits at a time, I had to spend 100,000 credits to expedite the process, then get in a ship, then not to get shot, and then get to whatever system was in, I don't know, development or whatever phase it was going to be in, or fortified, and then drop them off. And then, basically, wait another week for the Thursday tick and then get all my modules. Well, there you go. That's just kind of the way it is. Well, that's what happened. So why should I care about PowerPlay version 2 if I've got all the modules and weapons? Unless there's going to be more modules and weapons. Another point that is very interesting is I'm kind of interested in finding out what punishment we're going to have if we leave a particular faction. Are they going to send the bounty hunters out, Boba Fett style? You know what I'm saying, to hunt you down in the systems that you go to. And if you then give those bounty hunters a bit of stick for doing what they've been hired to do because you've been a naughty person, for example with Hudson or Ashling and all the rest of it, let's face it, what's going to happen? Well, up until now, the whole idea of being hunted down hasn't really worked, is it? They may give you a bit of beef, but if you've gone through all the hassle of aligning yourself to a faction, it needs to be a bit more aggressive, don't you think? Like, you really need to be plagued by bounty hunters. And then will that get sort of like in the way of the gameplay? Being dragged out of supercruise every 5 minutes because you just jogged one faction off to another. There's a fine line here with what the penalty should be for leaving a faction. I mean, for all we know, Frontier won't make any changes there, but they might. I mean, for me, with PowerPlay, like a lot of people, I align myself to a faction. That's great. I do something else in the game or play another game for 4 weeks or 3 weeks and 6 days. I then go to the core system of that faction, go to their home station, pick up the materials, deliver them to a place, 750 materials or whatever it is they say you want to have, but it's definitely 750. I then wait 24 hours until the Thursday tick or whenever it is, and then I go and pick up all the modules, and then do that for each one of the players, the main players, PowerPlay players, all the political factions, and then never go back to it ever again. Simply because, it is simple, because I don't really care about the background simulation and the politics in the game. There's enough politics going on, do you know what I mean? Like in real life, that tends to really sort of like boil your urine. But anyway, I digress. And it really is a shame that the existing PowerPlay is just doing cargo runs for the modules. I'm hoping there's going to be different types of mission flows. Go here, do this, fight them, send them packing, go over there, bring these settlements back online, go back, do something else. There needs to be a process that you can be invested in, and for all we know, there will be. So far, we have seen a nicely rendered new version of the political map attached to the galaxy map, tying you directly in to the game, making you feel more part of what's going on politically. But really, how many of us feel part of what's going on politically in real life? And why should we care? But anyway, like I say, there has to be an incentive there. There really has to be an incentive. Perhaps, making the modules more harder to attain. But isn't that going to penalise new players coming into PowerPlay? Again, unless there's going to be new modules. Now, a very interesting prospect could be that the new ships or new variants of the ships are going to be the rewards to getting involved in game. Wouldn't that be something? But then, they've only announced so far this year 4 new variants of ships in the game, and there's certainly more political factions than that. However, to get you to be involved in player v player, as what they've said, and get into player v player mission goals, get yourself out to solo, get yourself out of your private group, get yourself into open and put up with all the gankiness that goes on. Your reward could be a Python Mark II. Who knows? We're going to have to wait and see. But they did say it was all going to be story driven for the Python Mark II. So with the Python Mark II, PowerPlay version 2, and let's face it, whatever they've got going on with the current narrative, who knows what's really going on? The whole activities around PowerPlay do seem to be contentious. Aesthetics are indeed one thing, and they're very nice. It's a nice addition, and Frontier Development should be lauded for their efforts for breathing new life into a game that a lot of people and a lot of content creators had walked away from, especially after the console Armageddon that happened a couple of years ago. The player base is starting to grow back on PC because this is a game a lot of people love. However, Frontier Development must know that for PowerPlay activities, other than shoot this, deliver that, it has to be more involved. They have to get some immersion running in the game. We're certainly not going to see any immersion coming from virtual reality and those sort of headsets, which is a shame because the game looks absolutely beautiful in VR, especially in space, but not so much on foot. As well as these new activities, perhaps some of the current in-game on-foot gameplay could be utilised and indeed linked in to PowerPlay. Nice and easy, power down, power up, additional Odyssey on foot, bringing Odyssey more into the fold of the greater game, whereas it just seems to be a bit of a DLC at the moment. There could be secret missions, there could be additional mission flows. There's so much more they can do. And these are kind of the questions I have. In regard to the Odyssey part of the gameplay that could be integrated into PowerPlay version 2, let's think about Odyssey on foot. Well, hey, think about this. You storm an entire section. You defeat the soldiers who were there. You storm the base or command center, or in the fact of like a main part of a base or a space station. You could storm that and then overthrow the government official there. They're being instrumental in overtaking PowerPlay in that particular system. Now that would be something, and you would feel integrally part of the game. A lot of this is indeed, I think, surface level stuff, and they're just giving us a peek to whet the appetite, as it were, of players. They don't want to release too much information quickly because it's still being worked on. And let's face it, what else are they going to talk about? Can we talk about a new ship for so long without actually getting into game? Hot fixes. Brilliant. There are still problems around the Titans. When are we going to see a patch 18.02? An update for the update, which is an update. Hopefully that comes before the next Titan, Oya, is scheduled to fall. And that is currently scheduled to fall around about the 11th or 12th of April, 2024. Especially if AX and the rest of us commanders who are doing our part get our way. One more question for you, and something to think about. Is there going to be a Thargoid faction? Ooh, well, that's something to think about, isn't it? Anyway, will you be engaging in PowerPlay version 2? Do you find it as an exciting part of the game? Do you think what Frontier have shown you is enough to get you into PowerPlay and messing about in politics in Elite Dangerous? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks very much for watching. I've been Ricardo, talking about my questions that I have for PowerPlay version 2. I'm sure you've got questions as well. Pop them in the comments. I'd love to read them. See you soon.